Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel that is Still a Learner. So today in this video we are going to discuss 10th class English UNIT-8 workbook answers. Okay guys, so our unit name is The Sermon at Banaras. Okay guys, without wasting any time, let's get into the video and start it. Okay. So first of all, we have given the let's begin part. What is given? Just see. In the lesson, the sermon at Banaras, you were asked to find out the meaning of sermon. The meanings are given below, but these are in different context. First one is a talk on a religious or moral subject. Second meaning is a long or monotonous piece of admonition or caution or a warning, a lecture. So here from the lesson that is the sermon of Banaras, here we have asked to find out the meaning of sermon. Actually its meaning is already given. So it has two meanings. So a talk on a religious or a moral subject, or a long or monotonous piece of admonition or caution or a warning, a lecture. Okay, these two meanings are suitable for sermon, but we have to find out the correct meaning which is related to our lesson. Okay, are you getting my point? These two meanings are perfectly suitable for sermon, but we have to pick out that particular meaning which is related to our lesson, the sermon at Banaras. Okay, that one we have to pick. Okay, so here in the second meaning, admonition means warning. A firm warning is given. Okay, so from this two, if I have to choose the correct meaning which is related to our context, means our lesson, so first one will go, a talk on a religious or moral subject. Okay, so let's see. For this we have given three questions. Let's give the answer for these three. Okay, let's see the first one. Discuss with your classmate the text to which the present text belongs. So answer is the chapter The Sermon at Banaras discuss the religious preaching of Lord Buddha on life, death, suffering and immortality, etc. So the word sermon here has been used in reference to a talk on a religious or moral subject. Okay guys, now we'll see the second question, which is what could be the examples for the different context according to you? Okay, here we have to give the example for both the meanings. In the first question, we have tell the exact meaning which is related to our lesson. But here we have to give the examples for both the meanings. Okay, so for the first meaning and for the second meaning. Let's see. Examples for the different context are, so first one is a talk on a religious or moral subject. For this example is a speech delivered by a philanthropist or a spiritual leader on subject concerning the truth about human existence and its connection with the divine matrix. Okay, this is the example for the first meaning. Let's see the example for the second meaning, which is a long or monotonous piece of admonition or caution or warning, a lecture. For this example is a piece of advice given to a child by his parents on the right kind of conduct to be demonstrated and maintained before the guest. It means in your house your guests are coming. Okay, before that your parents will give you a piece of advice. Okay, that please behave very carefully in front of the guest. Okay, behave yourself, not to do shararat, masti, everything else like that they will give. Okay, this is the meaning for the second one. So for the first one, the meaning is a speech given by a spiritual leader on the religious matters like about the human existence on earth. Okay, now you got the difference between the two meanings. So let's see the third question, which is when your parents or elders say something, you say, oh, not again. When do you say so and why? So sometimes when our parents and elders advise us something, so we'll just get irritated and say, oh, not again. Please don't say something. I know everything else. Like that we'll say. Okay. When do you say so and why? Why do you say this? Okay. That is the question. Now we'll see the answer. So answer is when your parents or elders ask you to be careful on road, or they lecture you to be on your right behavior before the guest, or they give you any kind of advice in relation to sensitive matters like marriage, live in a relationship, etc., you end up using the expression like, oh, not again, isn't it? So, the probable reason behind this could be that children assume that they don't need any kind of lecturing or advisors and they are already aware. It could also be possible due to the fact that children think that the elders are restricting their freedom by imposing things on them, telling them to be on their best behavior at all times. So, most of the children will get irritated when they get advice from their parents, elders, or sometimes from their teachers also. Okay, they all give the advice for your best only, for your right behavior in the future, for your bright future. But they thought that they are just restricting them, they are just taking out their freedom, they are not letting them free. But it's not, guys. Please listen to them because they are the one who give you the best advice which will be very helpful for your future. Okay, always listen to them. Okay, now we'll move to the second question, which is read the poem given below in the context of the sermon at Benaras. It was actually delivered as a part of a sermon in 1910 by the author Canon Henry Scott Holland, 1847 to 1918, a priest at St. Paul Cathedral, London. After reading a poem, discuss in group of 4 and list the similarities and differences between the sermon at Banaras and the death is nothing at all. For example, the theme, the situation, the philosophy of the two speakers, etc. So guys, here one poem is given which is death is nothing at all. Okay, its main theme is connected with our lesson the sermon at Banaras. Okay, actually this poem was written by the author Canon Henry Scott Holland. Okay, his birth date is 1847 and death date is 1918. Now we have to read and understand this poem, then we have to give the similarities and differences between this both, means the sermon at Banaras and the death is nothing at all. Okay, so let's see this poem first, then we'll give the answer for this. So here in this poem, death is nothing at all. The author is telling us that death is nothing actually. It's just like the person who has death, he moved from one room to another room. Maybe he is not there in front of your eyes, but he was among you, but you cannot see it. Just like it has, he just moved to an another room where you cannot see him. Okay, that's why please don't count the death as he was slipped away to the next room. Nothing has happened to him. Okay, everything remains the same as it was before. How was the bonding between you and the person who died? It was same now also, but you cannot see him, but he was around you. Okay, that's why you can feel it. Just call him by the name as you were calling him before. Okay, talk to him like that as he was listening to you. Okay, don't change because the bond between you and him was unchanged, untouched. Call him by his familiar name which you were used to call him before. Speak to him, just remember him in your prayers. Talk to him, think of him, put no differences in your tone. This is the life, this is the exact, this is the bitter truth of life. Life means we have to come and go. Okay, he was waiting for you because one or the other day we also have to leave this world. Okay, so don't worry, we are just around the corner. Everything is well and nothing to hurt and nothing to lost. Okay guys, this is all about this poem. Now I hope you understood this. Let's see the question. Here we have to write down the list of similarities and differences between these two, which is the sermon at Banaras and this poem that is nothing at all. Okay, let's see the answer. Here you go guys. Okay, in the first box we'll write the differences and in the second box we'll write the similarities. Okay, so difference is the sermon at Banaras is an excerpt from the sermon preached by Gautama. The Buddha at Benaras. Whereas the death is nothing at all is an excerpt from the sermon delivered in 1910 by the author Canon Henry Scott Holland, a priest at St. Paul Cathedral, London. Second difference is the sermon at Banaras was addressed to a woman by the name of Kisa Gautami who had lost his only son and came to Buddha for help, whereas the sermon Death is nothing at all seems to address a large congregation at the church. Here, this word congregation is a collective noun. Do you know what is a collective noun? A collective noun is a word which is given to a group. Suppose one bird is there, then we call it as bird. If there are a group of birds, then we call it as flock of birds, flight of birds. Okay, if one soldier is there, soldier. If there are a group of soldiers, then we call them as army of soldiers. Like that, here congregation means a large number of worshippers at the church. You got it? Now we'll see the first similarity in the both, which is both the sermons share a common theme. Death is inevitable. It comes upon all those who have taken birth. As mortals, we are all subject to death. Okay, second similarity is both the speakers share the same philosophy to an extent. They advocate that one should not grieve or lament the loss of somebody who has died. Any amount of lamentation is not going to save the death or bring peace to the one lamenting. Death of a loved one should not bring about any change in those who were attached to the dead one. They should always remain happy despite the loss. Okay, guys, now we'll see the third difference, which is Buddha in his preaching called death as something unavoidable. He says that mortals, when born, are always in danger of death, whereas the speaker in death is nothing at all calls death a negligible accident. Fourth difference is in the sermon at Banaras, Buddha preaches that one should not grieve over the death of a loved ones as weeping and grieving only cause more and more mental and physical suffering, whereas in death is nothing at all. It is suggested that one should laugh at the troubles, laugh even at the loss of a loved ones, and remain happy as death is insignificant and nothing changes after that but remains the same. Okay, guys, this is the answer for that. Means four differences and two similarities we have seen. Now we'll move to the next one, which is reading comprehension, text 1. Okay, so a passage is given for you. What you have to do, you have to read and understand this passage. Okay, just read it once or twice and try to understand by yourself. If you understand, then only you will be able to answer the given following questions. In the exams, the examiner will give you unseen passages. Okay, that's why be careful and try to do these type of exercises by yourself only. Okay, let's see this. So this passage is taken from The Transformed Mind, His Holiness by Dalai Lama. Okay, Dalai Lama is the author. Okay, let's see this. Okay, guys, so we all want a happier humanity and happier world, isn't it? What is a humanity? Let me tell you what is a humanity. Humanity is nothing but the human nature, the nature of a human, the character, the behavior of a nature. It's in simple words, I would say the quality of being human. Okay, it comes when you have a kind and compassionate, generous behavior towards the other human kind. Okay, so for this, what we need, we should have a proper motivation, the way we do for our actions, for our verbal, for our minor actions, what we do in our life. So intelligence play a vital role in all this. If our intentions are pure, if our thoughts are pure, and if the society moral values and standard of behavior are pure, then only we'll be happy, we'll see a happy world. Otherwise we all going to suffer. And at the same time, our educational system should also in the way that they will teach both moral values, and at the same time they will improve our spiritual development. What is spiritual development? See here, spiritual development is not about our religious matter, but simply giving a teachings of having a good and compassionate heart. If we have a good and compassionate heart, then it brings the inner strength which allows us to have a less fear and less doubt. Okay, guys, so be kind and humble towards the other mankind. Then the result will be a happy world. Okay, guys, this is all about this passage. Now we'll see the question and answers. Okay, so first question is, according to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, what should we do if we want a happier humanity? Answer: according to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, we must tackle the roots of the problem if we want a happier humanity. Okay. Second question: where does the ultimate cause of the problem lie? Answer: the ultimate cause of the problem lies within the human mind. Third question: what I call human feeling then? It is very useful. What is it referred to here? Answer: intelligence accompanied with human affection and compassion. Okay, let's see the fourth question, which is, what does the Dalai Lama say that proper motivation is important? Answer: he said so because according to him, every human action, verbal or physical, even minor actions have some motivation. Proper motivation will yield positive results. Fifth question: why is there a requirement of correlation between the intention of an individual and the interest of society? Answer: the intentions of an individual are very much related to the interest of the society. If society's moral values and standard of behavior becomes negative, each of us will suffer. Okay, guys. Now we'll see the sixth question, which is, what does His Holiness the Dalai Lama meant by spiritual development? Answer: by spiritual development, he means having a good and compassionate heart. Seventh question: a compassionate heart brings inner strength, self confidence, and freedom from fear. Okay, guys, now we'll move to the next part, that is text 2. Here, one poem is given. Okay, so we have to read and understand the poem, then only we'll able to answer the given questions. So let's see. Father Gilligan was overworked and extremely tired as he kept attending to the sick and dying among his parishioners. He was offering them the spiritual comfort day and night. One night he fell asleep on a chair. God sent his angel down to help his most beloved servant of the people. Here, the word parishioner means the person who goes often to the church, means he goes daily, day and night to the church. That person is called a parishioner. Okay. Once there was a father of the church named Gilligan. Okay. He worked in a church, and one day he overworked and he was exhausted, means extremely tired of working there. What works he do there? He just kept attending the sick and dying among the persons of the church. Means those who fell asleep and those who died, at the time he go and give comfort to them. Okay, that is the work he do. One day what happened? As he overworked and get exhausted, that's why he didn't visit a person who fell sick. That night he fell asleep on a chair. But God blessed him and sent one of his angel to go and visit the sick person. Okay, so this is the introduction given. Now we'll see in detail. So the poem name is The Ballad of Father Gilligan. Here the word ballad means a story which is described in a poem, in a song, in a stanzas. A story is beautifully designed in a poem. Once there was an old priest named Peter Gilligan. He worked there in a church. Okay, he visited to the sick and dying people without any rest. He worked day and night there. Once at the evening time, when he was taking a nap on a chair, another poor man was sent to him. By not getting a rest, he just frustrated and said that I have no rest. I have no joy and peace in my life. Every time the people comes to me. Then after some time he just cried to God and said that please forgive me. I said this out of tiredness. Actually, these are not my words. These are the words of my body as they were exhausted, as they were tired. Please forgive me. By saying so, by talking to God, he fell asleep on the chair and stars began to peep means it was the night time. And when he wake up, it was actually a morning time, means early morning. He stood up right on the floor and began to cry, Mavren, Mavren. Actually, this is an expression which is just like an alas. So alas is used when someone is dead, just like here Mavron also. Okay, he said, Mavron, the man has died. I didn't go and visit him. He died because of me. Now he ran to his house. When he knocked the door, his wife opened the door and said, Father, you come again. Then Peter Gilligan, he was thinking that I didn't visit before. Why she saying so? Then he asked, is the old man alive? Then his wife said that he died an hour ago. As soon as you turned towards the door, he died. He was happy when he was dying. So, by listening to the words of his wife, the father means the Peter Gilligan felt happy. He knelt on his knees and prayed to the God and said thanks to him that in the absence of him, he sent his angel down to help him. So he believes that he who cares for the mankind, God will surely help him. Okay, this is all about the poem, guys. Now we'll see the question and answers. So first question is, why did Father Gilligan cry, my body spake, not I? Answer, Father Gilligan always remained willing to provide his help in the form of spiritual comfort to the sick and dying among his parishioners. But he was physically overworked and extremely tired. That's why he cried, my body spake, not I. So the second question is, the mouth hour of Eve, the mouth hour went, and the mouth hour came once again. Establish a link. They suggest A. The movement of moth, B. The passage of time, C. The actions of Father Gilligan. So the correct option is B. The passage of time. Let's see the third question, which is, why does the poet say that the priest rode with little care? Does it mean that the old priest Peter Gilligan had no care for the safety of the horse and people on the way? Why did he not care about? Answer, an old man was dying when Father Gilligan was fast asleep in his chair. After getting up from his sleep, he was in a hurry to reach the dying man. He drove really fast through the rocky lane and wet lane and didn't even care about his nor his horse safety. Okay, let's see the fourth question, which is, how did the priest feel when he heard that the sick man was dead? Choose the correct option. So, option A is he was frustrated and amazed. B. He was ashamed and annoyed. C. He was full of grief and self condemnation. So, answer is C. Okay. Now, we'll see the fifth question, which is, why did Father Gilligan kneel down when he heard the sick man's wife say, when you were gone? Answer, on hearing the words of the sick man's wife, Father Gilligan was filled with regret for his failure to attend to the sick man and to provide spiritual comfort. His kneeling down was an act of repentance. Let's see the sixth question, which is, how did the God help when the least of things was in need? Answer, God helped the least of things at the time of needy by sending his angel down to the dying man's house to provide him spiritual comfort when Father Gilligan was fast asleep. Okay, guys, this is the answer. Now we'll move to the next part, which is vocabulary part. So here in this vocabulary part, we have given some words from our lesson, the sermon at Banaras. Okay, now what we have to do? We have to write down the antonyms of the given words. Do you know what is an antonym? Antonym is nothing but the opposite of the given words. Okay, let's see the first one, which is unfit. Okay, its opposite is befit. Second one, joy, opposite sorrow. Third one, contentment, opposite discontent or discontentment. Okay, fourth one, found, opposite is lost. Fifth one, cheered, answer is grieved. Next, lively, weary. Then calm, cried. Okay, now we'll move to the second Roman of this vocabulary part, which is use a dictionary to find out four other words, each having the meaning nearest to the one given below. Okay, here some words are given. Now what we have to do? We have to write down the synonyms of these words. Means synonyms is nothing but we have to write down the similar meaning of the given word. Here one example is given. Let's see that first, which is wander. Its synonyms are stroll, dawdle, drift, roam. Okay, next one is vow. Vow is nothing but promised. Okay, let's see the synonyms of this: pledge, committed, deposed, promised. Next one is preach. Its synonyms are proclaimed, sermonized, evangelist, and advocated. Next, preserve. Its synonyms are conserved, protected, safeguarded, looking after or looked after. Okay, next, awaken. Its synonyms are enlightened, aroused, roused, stimulated. Next word is enlighten. Synonyms are illuminated, learned, knowledgeable, informed. Next one is regime. So ruled, governed, influenced, dominated. So guys, these are the synonyms of the given words. Okay, now we'll move to the next Roman, which is grammar part. Okay, here in this grammar part we have given reported speech. Okay, first we'll know what is a reported speech. Okay, then we'll move to the questions given below. Okay guys, so tell me, what is a reported speech? First tell me, what is a speech actually? A speech is nothing but exchange of spoken words, isn't it? So in English grammar we have two speeches. One is direct speech and another one is indirect speech. So what is a direct speech? Direct speech is to repeat or say the exact words of the speaker, whereas indirect speech means to use without the exact word of the speaker, or else I can say we use our own words to report what someone else has said. Okay, this is what indirect speech means. So indirect speech is also called as reported speech. Let's see an example. Ravi said, I want to watch a film. If I have to say this in indirect speech, then I'll say Ravi said that he wanted to watch a film. Now it's clear. Let's see the examples given in the workbook. So first one is Ricky said, I'm hungry. So in indirect speech we can say Ricky said that he was hungry. Next sentence, Alexa said to Meena, have you visited your hometown Pondicherry? So, indirect speech is Alexa asked Meena if she had visited her hometown Pondicherry. If you observe the sentence B and sentence D, there are changes in a person. So, how the change is there? Ricky said, I am hungry. Here, I is changed to he, right? And in the C sentence, we used you pronoun for Meena, which has changed to she in the D sentence. Are you observing these things? Okay, and at the same time the reporting verb which is said is changed to us. So these type of changes occur when we convert a direct speech to indirect speech. Okay, Here, a list of reporting verbs are given like tell, ask, reply, warn, say, report, answer, explain, exclaim, mention, promise, suggest, order, etc. Okay, by using this, let's see some examples. So, first example is the doctor said to me, drink 8 glasses of water to avoid acidity. So let's see the indirect speech of this sentence. The doctor told me to drink 8 glasses of water to avoid acidity. Here the reporting verb which is said to has changed to told. Okay? Let's see the next sentence. Please don't tell anybody about my illness, Amita said to me. Okay? So the indirect speech will be Amita asked me not to tell anyone about her illness. Okay, here also said to is changed to asked me. Okay, guys, in this way we have to change the reporting verbs. Okay, let's see the first question, which is read the passage. Kisa Gautami had an only son to a child, husband, parent, or friend. From the text, The Sermon at Banaras, page number 134. Rewrite the paragraphs, changing the direct speech into reported speech in the space given below. So, guys, from our lesson, the sermon at Banaras, one passage is chosen. Okay, so in that passage, they have used direct speech. Okay, now what we have to do? We have to change the direct speech into indirect speech, which is a reported speech, and rewrite the sentence again. Let's see that. Here you go for the answer. Kisa Gautami had an only son and he died. In her grief, she carried the dead child to all her neighbors, asking them for medicine. And the people said that she had lost her senses as the boy was dead. Next one. At length, Kisa Gautami met a man who replied to her request and said that he could not give the medicine for her child, but he knew a physician who could. And the girl asked the man to tell him who it was. The man told him to go to Salyamuni, the Buddha. Next, Kisa Gautami repaired to the Buddha and requested him to give the medicine that would cure her boy. Next one, the Buddha said that he wanted a handful of mustard seeds. And when the girl in her joy promised to procure it, the Buddha said that the mustard seed must be taken from a house where no one had lost a child, husband, parent, or friend. Okay, guys, this is the answer. Now we'll move to the second question, which is read the story given below. Change the direct speech into reported speech and rewrite the story in the space provided. Use the reporting verbs given above wherever necessary. You can use any other reporting verbs you find suitable. So this is also same exactly as the above question. Okay, so here also one story is given which is an unknown story. Now what we have to do? We have to change the direct speech into indirect speech wherever necessary, and then we have to rewrite the story again by applying some changes. Okay, let's see the answer for this. It is said that it is not how much we have, but how much we enjoy it that makes happy. Being happy doesn't require everything to be good, but an eye to see good in everything. One day, a crow saw a swan. He thought to himself that swan was so white and he was so black. She must be the happiest bird in the world. The swan replied that she was feeling that she was the happiest bird around, but she thought that the parrot was the happiest bird as it had two colors. The crow then approached the parrot. The parrot said that he had only two colors, but the peacock had multiple colors. Then the crow then visited a peacock in the zoo and said to him that he was very beautiful. Every day thousands of people came to see him. He was the happiest bird on the planet. The peacock said that he had always thought that he was the most beautiful and happy bird on the planet, but he was entrapped in that zoo. He had realized that the crow was the only bird not kept in the cage and could happily roam everywhere. So, this is the answer, and from this story, we get a lesson that be happy with what you have, don't compare with others. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is an editing part. Here, one paragraph is given. Okay, now what we have to do? We have to edit this paragraph. Okay, so there are some omissions in the paragraph. Okay, now we have to edit it by using suitable prepositions and words. Here you go for the answer. The Wild Geese, which is the title. One day, Prince Siddhartha was going to the royal gardens on his way along the river. A flock of wild geese passed overhead. Devadatta, the prince's cousin, shot an arrow into their midst, and one of the geese fell. It was wounded and fell just in front of Siddhartha. His heart was filled with compassion when he saw the poor bird bleeding profusely. He lifted it and he drove the arrow out very carefully from its body. He took the bird with him. Devadatta sent a messenger to claim the bird, but Siddhartha refused to give it. He said that it belonged to him because he had saved his life. It did not belong to Devadatta, who had tried to kill it. Okay, guys, now we'll move to the next one, which is a listening part. Okay, here one passage is given on Sanchi Stupa. Okay, so now what you have to do? You have to listen to it carefully and you have to ask your teacher or your sibling or your classmate to read it aloud. Okay, while they were reading, you have to listen to it carefully. Okay, after listening to this passage, you have to give the answers for the given questions. Okay, guys, here I'm not going to read this passage for you. Please, you just try it by yourself. Ask your parent or a sibling also if you are at home. If you are in the classroom, then ask your classmate. Okay, now we'll see the answers for this. So, first question is, which Buddhist monument is referred to here and what does it portray? Answer is Sanchi Stupa is referred to here. It portrays Buddhist art and sculpture. Second question, who are the people who visit this stupa throughout the year? Answer, national and foreign tourists, archaeologists and historians. Let's see the third question, which is, in which period the stupa was built and who commissioned it? Answer, the stupa was built during the Mauryan period. It was commissioned in the 3rd century BCE by Emperor Ashoka. Okay, let's see the fourth question, which is, where is the central chamber in the stupa? What is kept inside it? Answer, the hemispherical dome consists of a central chamber. The relics of Lord Buddha are kept inside it. Okay, fifth question. What structures were added to the huge hemisphere in the 1st century BCE? Answer, 4 ornamental gateways or toranas facing 4 directions and a balustrade surrounding the stupa were added to the huge hemisphere in the 1st century BCE. Let's see the sixth question, which is, the Toranas are decorated with. Tick the correct answer. A. Stone ornaments. B. Events of Lord Buddha's life. C. Lord Buddha's release. D. Symbolic depiction of Lord Buddha as throne, wheel, footprints, etc. Among these 4, B and D are the correct one and rest A and C are wrong. That's why put cross mark for A and C and right for B and D. Okay, guys, now we'll move to the next part, which is speaking part. Okay, so here we have to speak about the grief we faced in our life or the grief we feel for those who are around us, or we have experienced some loss or someone's death, whatever it may be. Sometimes loss of friendship, a head boy or a head boy or head girl is nothing but school people leader, SPL. Okay, now we have to discuss these with our friend and note down what are the possible reasons for someone's grief or sorrow.
and at the same time we have to write down how they should overcome of this. Okay, so we have to share our feelings and suggestions in the class. Let's see the answer for this. The possible reasons for someone's grief or sorrow are death of a close friend, relative, or a family member. Second reason, failure in examination. Third reason, failure in job interviews. Next reason, inability to find a suitable employment. Next reason, financial distress. Next, marital disharmony. Next, physical and mental impairment. Next, lack of basic amenities in life and loss of friendship. Okay.
Okay, these are the reasons. Now we'll see the ways to overcome this. Okay, so let's start with paragraph. Ways to overcome the grief arising out of any of these causes listed above. People must realize and remember that ups and downs are part and parcel of life. Instead of getting depressed and lamenting over losses or failures or any unpleasant situation in life, they must build courage and determination to fight the situation bravely by devising an appropriate solution to their problems. Instead of getting irritated and agitated, they must try to control their emotions. Then only they will be able to think of a feasible solution to combat their problems. They must try to engage themselves in recreational activities that could serve as a good distraction. They should try to think positively and focus on the positive aspects of their life instead of getting disheartened. Listening to some good music, developing a hobby, going for an outing, and spending time with family are some of the activities that can invariably help. Now we'll move to the next one, which is writing part. Okay, so the question is, write a paragraph on how you can help others who are in grief. You may consider the following points. Here some points are given. By using these points, we have to write a paragraph on how we can help the people, help others who are in sorrow, who are in grief. Okay, let's see the answer for this. We all know that life is full of challenges. There are moments and phases in our lives when we are extremely happy and content, interspersed with the bad phases that shatter us physically, mentally, and emotionally. When we are afflicted with grief, our behavior changes drastically. But our behavioral pattern in response to grief or sorrow varies. Grief is known to be expressed through a variety of behaviors. There are some people who became silent when grief and isolated themselves from other people. They become secluded. They prefer to spend some time alone till they learn to control their emotions and get back on the track in their lives. In such a scenario, it is advisable to give space to these people and let them come out of their problems on their own. On the contrary, there are others who crave consolation. They feel better when they are consoled at the time of grief. Their pains and sufferings get alleviated when they can share their thoughts and feelings with others who listen to them patiently. In such a case, we should make efforts to provide emotional support to those in need. We should let them know by our warm gestures that we care for them. We should stand by them as long as they need our support. We should try to build in them positivity, confidence, strength through motivation so that they become able to overcome their grief and move ahead in their lives. Okay, guys, now we'll move to the next question, that is question number 2, which is two poems are given in the textbook First Flight, page number 138 and 139. One by Khalil Gibran and the other by Rabindranath Tagore. Read the poems, discuss in groups of 4 on what these two poets want to say in their respective poems. Then write the summary of each poem and share it with your classmates. Okay, guys, so here in the textbook First Flight, page number 138 and 139, we have two poems. Okay, so we have to read and understand both the poems. Then we have to discuss in a group of 4
with our classmates, and then we have to write the summary of each poem. Okay, let's see the first one. So first poem is Joy and Sorrow. The summary of this poem is, through this poem the poet wants to convey that the more a person does hard work in life, undergoes trials and tribulations, and takes pain, go through troubles and suffering, the more he is able to enjoy the happiness, the joys of life. The person who experiences great sorrow in life is able to appreciate the joys in their entirety. He also advocates that must take joy and sorrow both in stride and accept them as part and parcel of life. Life weaves both joys and sorrows. When one ends, other inevitably follows. We must learn to always remain thankful in our lives, even for the sorrows, as they teach us many good virtues and helps us grow naturally. Okay, this is about the first poem, means the summary of the first poem by Khalil Gibran. Now we'll see the second poem, okay, which is Say Not in Grief. Okay, now we'll see the summary of this poem by Rabindranath Tagore. Through this poem, the poet wants to give the message that when grief is absent from our lives, we should not feel thankful for its absence because grief improves us as a person. It brings many positive changes in us. It teaches many good qualities which polish us and makes us a better person. When we successfully manage the period of grief in our life, we automatically learn to deal with difficult situations in life. We become more tolerant, patient, and emotionally mature. We are better able to appreciate the good in life and view everything in a positive light. Okay, guys, this is the summary of Say Not in Grief by Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, now you got it. So now we'll move to the last part of our lesson, which is a project. Okay, let's see what is given here. Work in group of four. Collect Jataka tales at least six, concerning the previous birth of Gautama Buddha in both human and animal form. Read this and rewrite the story in your own words. You can develop a comic strip too. Then make a collage of these stories. Then illustrate the stories and display the collage in your class. So it means what we have to do, we have to collect the Jataka tales. Jataka tales means Buddhist stories, birth related stories. We have to collect at least six. Okay, and we have to work in a group of four. Then we have to collect at least six stories and make a notes, and at the same time we have to illustrate in the form of collage and submit it to the English teacher. Okay, let's see this. First one is the ass in the lion's skin. Once upon a time, an ass found a lion's hide in a jungle left by a hunter. He felt very happy to find it. He thought to himself, if I wear the lion's skin and roam about in the jungle, all the other animals will be scared of me. Look at the picture. Next, the idea of creating fear amongst the animals of the forest amused the ass. The ass donned the lion's skin and hid himself in the thick bushes. As any animal passes by, he suddenly came rushing out at the animal and scared it away. All the animals of the jungle developed great dread of him. He felt really delighted to know that. He got so overwhelmed with joy that he could not contain his happiness. He started giving out a loud, harsh bray. A fox, who was running with the other animals to escape from the ass, suddenly stopped short. He laughed at the ass and told him that if he had not been stupid to give out a bray of an ass, he could have saved himself from a lot of trouble. Soon the other animals gathered around him and beat him black and blue. Okay, now we'll see the second story, which is The Fox and the Crow. Once a crow found a piece of meat. He was very happy to find the piece of meat as he was feeling extremely hungry.
He flew and perched on a thick branch of a tree to enjoy his meal. A fox who was wandering here and there in search of food saw the crow sitting on the tree with the piece of meat. He wanted to get that piece of meat from him. So he thought of a plan. He started praising the crow that he had heard that the crow had a very melodious voice. He requested the crow to sing a song for him in a beautiful voice. Okay, you may see the picture. In this way, you also had to paste it the picture. Okay, next paragraph. The crow felt very pleased to hear the clever fox's words. He immediately opened his beak to sing. As soon as he did, the piece of meat that he held in his beak fell down. The fox quickly picked it and gobbled it up. The poor crow had go hungry due to his foolishness. Okay, guys, now we'll see the next story, which is The Wolf and the Crane. Okay. Once upon a time, there lived a clever wolf in a jungle. One day, a thick piece of bone of his prey that he had devoured got stuck in his mouth. The wolf was in great pain. He felt extremely uncomfortable and grew restless on account of the excruciating pain. Okay, you may see the picture of wolf and crane. Okay, let's see the next paragraph. He started crying for help from his fellow animals. Suddenly, he came across a crane who was wading in the water of the river nearby. He asked for help from the crane. The crane agreed to help the wolf on one condition. She asked the wolf to give her a reward in return of her help. The wolf quickly agreed to the crane's proposal. The crane very easily moved her long neck down the wolf's mouth and with her sharp beak took out the piece of bone. The wolf got relieved of his pain. The crane then asked for her reward. The clever wolf said to the crane that she had already got her reward as she had successfully took out her neck from a wolf's mouth. The crane was full of regret for helping the clever wolf. Let's see the next story, which is The Turtle Who Could Not Stop Talking. So, start a paragraph. Once upon a time, there lived a turtle in a river in a forest. Due to extremely hot weather, the river soon started running dry. All aquatic life in that river started getting seriously affected. The fishes, the plants, and the phytoplanktons were dying. The turtle called out his close friends who were the two geese that lived in a river few kilometers away. The turtle requested his friends to take him away with them to their dwelling. His friends agreed to the turtle's request. They picked a thick branch of a tree from the ground. Both of them held it from its two ends. Just look at the picture how these two geese hold the turtle with the help of stick. Okay, let's see the continuation of this line. Both of them held it from its two ends in their beak. They asked the turtle to hold the branch in his mouth from its center. The turtle did what the geese said. The geese told the turtle that he must not open his mouth while they fly in the air. As the three of them moved through the air, a bunch of naughty boys who were playing on the ground started making fun of the turtle. They mocked the turtle and laughed at a funny sight. The turtle got it and to defend himself opened his mouth. His grip on the wooden branch got loose. He fell on the ground and lost his life. Now we'll see the next story, which is The Cock and the Cat. You may see the picture how this cock and cat are fighting. Okay, so just take the screenshot, or you may go to the Xerox shop and take the appropriate picture and paste it in your project notes. Okay, so start a paragraph. Once a clever cat got hold of a poor cock who was feeding on the grains of corn lying on the ground. The cat held the cock from his neck with his sharp paws. He said to the cock, "Every morning you disturb the sleep of thousands of people with your sharp, loud crow. You must be punished for your bad deeds." The cock at once said to the cat that he crows early morning only for the benefit of humanity. He wakes them up from their sleep so that they can get on with their day's work and don't miss the important task. The wicked cat was determined to eat the cock to satiate his hunger. He said to the cock, "You abound in apologies, but it's breakfast time." He instantly killed the bird and ate him up. Let's see the sixth one, which is the goose that laid the golden eggs. Okay. There lived a farmer with his wife in a cottage. They had a golden goose that laid a golden egg every day. The farmer with his wife were very pleased and happy in their life. They would sell the golden eggs and get a huge sum in return. They soon started making lots of money. One day, the farmer and his wife had a decision with each other, so they decided to kill the golden goose. Look at the picture how the farmer is killing that golden goose. They thought to themselves that a goose laying a golden egg every day must contain great gold lump in its belly. Instead of waiting every day for just a single golden egg, it's better to cut the goose up and get all the gold at once. They killed the goose. Due to their greed, they had to part with their golden goose, who gave them riches and joy. Okay, guys, now we'll see the seventh story, which is the crane and the crab. Once upon a time, there lived a crane near a pond. He had grown old and debilitated. Due to his old age, it had become extremely difficult for him to make arrangements for his food. He saw the pond teeming with all sorts of aquatic life, including the fishes, crabs, prawns, etc. He thought of a clear idea to feast on the pond dwellers. He sat down near the pond with a sad face. When all the pond animals saw him sitting with a sad face, they got curious to know the cause of his sadness. When they inquired him about the same, he said that an astrologer had made a prediction that this pond would soon run dry. All the animals got worried and disappointed to know that. They started discussing amongst themselves as to what could be done to improve the situation. They all decided to go to the crane to ask for a solution to their problem. The crane replied that he could help them. He would take all the animals one by one in his beak to the other pond. All the animals agreed to his plan. Look at the picture how the crane and the frog were there. Okay. Next, the clever crane would pick up one animal daily in his beak to be taken to a deserted place. There he would devour his prey to pieces. One day it was the crab's turn. The crane held the crabs in its beak and flew away on his way to the deserted place. As the crane was about to reach his destination, the crab saw the skeletons of the fishes on the rocks below. He immediately sensed the danger and realized that the crane had brought him there to kill and eat him up like the other animals. He quickly caught hold of his neck with his sharp pincers and crushed him to death. Let's see the next story, which is the monkey and the crocodile. Once upon a time, there lived a monkey on a rose apple tree which was situated near the bank of a river. In the river lived a crocodile. To satiate his hunger, the monkey would pluck the rose apples and eat them up. He would also give some of them to the crocodile. Soon the monkey and the crocodile became very good friends. They started spending a lot of time in each other company. The crocodile started reaching his home late on a daily basis. The crocodile's wife got really annoyed due to the crocodile's neglect of duty towards his family. She inquired from the crocodile the reason for his coming home late. The crocodile told his wife about his new friend and even gave her some rose apples.
which the monkey had sent for the crocodile's wife. The crocodile's wife found the fruits very delicious and said to her husband, "The fruits are so tasty and sweet." She said to her husband that the heart of the monkey who had been eating them daily must have become really delicious and sweet. She immediately demanded her husband to bring the monkey along with him so that she could feast on him. The crocodile refused to do so. His wife thought of a clever idea. She lied down on the bed and pretended to be sick. She told to her husband that the doctor had said that her condition was critical and she could only get well if she ate a monkey's heart. The crocodile was in a great dilemma. He could not sacrifice his friend's life for his wife. The crocodile's wife appealed to his husband's conscience by reminding him of his responsibilities towards his wife. Just look at the picture of the monkey and the crocodile. So let's see the next paragraph. The crocodile went near the tree and told the monkey that his wife had invited him for dinner. The monkey agreed to go with the crocodile to his place. On their way, the crocodile told the monkey that he was taking him to his house not for any dinner, but for his wife who wanted to eat his heart. The monkey didn't take a minute to think of an idea to save his life. He said to the crocodile that he had left his heart on the tree. If he had been told that his wife wanted to eat his heart, he would have brought it along with him. The crocodile asked the monkey to bring back his heart and took a turn to go towards the tree. On reaching near the tree, the monkey quickly made a huge leap to reach his home on the tree. He then said to the crocodile that he must tell his wife that she had married a fool. Okay, guys, this is all about your unit workbook answer, which is the sermon at Banaras workbook answers. I hope, guys, you all really enjoyed this video. I mean, you all got understood. Okay, if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, and if you are new here, then please subscribe and don't forget to share it with your friends so that they may also write it down and submit it on time. Okay, guys, once again, I'm telling you, thank you so much for watching. Please check it out, the playlist of 10th class, where I have uploaded the Telugu notes, English workbook answers, everything else. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.